TNTMTheShow presents Comicast 312 with your host, Pablo Gunner, and I'm here to talk nerdy to you about comics and stuff, mostly comics. Maybe some nerdy stuff too. I'll talk nerdy to you. So, we review the comics here on the Comicast and stuff, but I'll talk about some nerdy stuff. I have been watching Punisher. I have one more episode left. And but so far, it is probably might be the best series yet because it's just so good and the things that they tackle and everything. They cover PTSD and just like soldiers and veterans and all that stuff, and then of course Punisher. It was like, how are they going to bring this guy back in and how are they going to keep going this? I still don't know how they're going to keep it going, but I am loving it right now. So I think it's probably second place though for me. I don't know, it's weird because I like Luke Cage the most for the Netflix series just because it's Luke Cage and everything like that, because it's Harlem. And I just felt like they did such a phenomenal job on that. But at the same time, I feel like the most popular, at least, or like like I said, that's probably my favorite one is Luke Cage, but I don't think it's the best one. I think best would probably be Daredevil season 1 and then Punisher. But like I said, I got one episode left, so maybe we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I am not up to date on the DC CW stuff. I kind of have fallen off the boulevard for that stuff. I have it recorded. All the episodes are recorded on my DVR. It's not at the top of my priority list for shows. The show that I'm most interested in right now is, well, obviously Punisher, but past that is Gifted. Gifted is my number one show right now. Netflix series are kind of different because you can stream them and stuff, but so that's my number one show right now. I'm not up to date on that one either. I think I might be 1 or 2 behind. But me and Slagey were watching it together because he had not watched it, and so we were hanging out, and so I had work to do, editing to do on the computer and stuff. So I was doing that, and he was watching that. He was also doing editing as well for a while. But anyways, so he got caught up. Then we got caught up together, and now I think we're both behind together. So at least as far as I know, but. I don't know. I don't know if we have like an unspoken pact where like we're supposed to watch it together now or not, but I don't know. So I'll probably watch it when I get the chance. I have been playing some Mass Effect Andromeda because I'm still loving that game, trying to 100% it. I don't think I'm going to, but I don't know if I can or not, just because of the way that I'm playing it. I think the way that this game is designed, you can change like your classes, you can change your weapons, and you can change your attacks and stuff because you can level up really high. So it's possible that you could maybe do all of the get all the achievements in one playthrough. I'm not sure. So or at least a good majority of them. And then I do really want to play Wolfenstein 2 though, because it just seems really cool and I want to kill Nazis. Of course you could do that in COD World War II, I think, as well, but I don't know, something about it just doesn't seem as fun as, it's different, obviously. And then I've heard Shadow of War. Shadow of War is really freaking awesome. I think that's the new one, right? The new Lord of the Rings fanfic video game or whatever it is. And then there's plenty more stuff. Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 has been an interesting thing just because like it came out and they still had issues. Microtransactions, like they just, I don't know, EA just likes, do they just like to fuck themselves? I don't know what it is. Sorry, I'm getting a little crazy, just EA likes to just these big companies, man, they screw up and then they try to go like, oh, I'm sorry, and backtrack, and it's like, the bad damage has been done. Like, people are more likely to probably buy your game now, but at the same time, like, it's already bad. So I don't know if you're really gonna be able to get anything out of that. I don't know if there's gonna be too many sales now that, even though they took away the microtransactions, they're giving away free DLC, I think, too, for that game. So, but I'm still waiting on word from JD, which he is also not here this week. It is Thanksgiving week, so his family coming into town, and so that's why he's not here. He has to got to be prepared for that. Got to clean house and and all the hitos and stuff. Got to get them all squared away and make sure everything's prepared for the whole familia. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Oh, the big ones. I finally saw Thor, and so good. It's ridiculous how good that movie is. It's not as dark as I was hoping or wanting it to be, but I was very satisfied with the ending nonetheless. I was just satisfied with the movie altogether. It was one of those where like I really didn't like it at first just because the humor took a little while to get used to, and I was like, it was so different. It just irked me, but it didn't take long before I warmed up to it and then just loved it all the way through. And then Justice League. Now, Justice League. I have some things to say about Justice League, most of them good, because there's not really that much bad about Justice League, at least that I've really recognized. I mean, I've had like a week to mull it over pretty much almost, and I can't really see too many things except for like it's a really solid movie. It is really good. I feel like they kind of work better as a team than the Avengers do, because even in that last battle, I know it was a huge citywide battle, but they weren't really working as a team that much. Like they would work in partnerships or maybe 2 or 3 of them at a time. You never really saw the team work together to take down like one enemy. And so that was one thing. And so it was cool to see that throughout the movie. Like they do that at first and then they get better and stuff. And that was really cool. But there was issues with like, it's more like hardcore comic book geek issues, which is they didn't do justice to the death and return of Superman. And I didn't expect them to do like all the other Superman and stuff like that coming back, or trying to replace him or whatever. I didn't expect any of that. But all I wanted to see was him with a beard and with a black suit, and they did not do that. Sorry, spoiler alert, but they did not do that. Just so you know, don't walk in there thinking he's going to come out of the freaking casket and he has a beard and he has a suit, which that's the thing that pissed me off about it, because they easily could have, because I saw screenshots for that movie and he had a beard and they CGI'd out his beard. So his face looks CGI the whole time, at least like this part of his face looks CGI the whole time. And it almost makes it look like he's CGI'd into the whole movie. And I'm like, I know he showed up for this. He didn't phone in this performance. They didn't just like put the balls on his face or whatever. I mean, not that that's phoning it in, but what I'm saying is like, I know he was actually there. I saw the production photos. They CGI'd his beard out and had his regular face CG'd in. I could not stand it. It drove me freaking crazy every time that Superman was on the screen. It drove me freaking nuts. It just irritated me. That was the only CGI that bugged me. That was it. Like that, because it was the whole time he was on screen. I feel like the death and his return could have been handled way better, especially considering the way that it ended. Because the way that it ended, the Batman v Superman there was like they threw the dirt on and it was rumbling on his casket. And it's like, okay, so he's still alive, right? And they didn't do that at all. So they're like, nope, he's legitimately dead in this. And it's like, okay, then why did you guys have to do the rock rumbling thing then? That's stupid. Because that's not what actually happens. And what actually happens is he's pretty much in like he's kind of like in a coma and he's recovering slowly. His heartbeats are just spaced, very far apart because he's Kryptonian, different, and obviously everything like that. I mean, I don't know if it would be the same way if he was on his own planet, but at least, with the red sun and everything like that, that's the way it works for him. And so I thought like, okay, so he's going to have a beard when he comes out and stuff. And it's like, no, they played it off. He's actually fully dead and stuff. And I don't know. And there were some missed opportunities there too. And just some other stuff. I liked the villain. I thought the movie was handled really well. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I even went in going like, I'm not going to like this. I'm not going to, it wasn't that I wasn't going to like this. I'll be like, it's going to be at least decent. But I was like, I'm not going to like Barry Allen. And Aquaman is just going to be Jason Momoa, and then what's his name? Like Ben Affleck's going to be too jokey, which I didn't feel like he was. They did pretty much cover a lot of the jokes in the trailer. So he really didn't have a sense of humor, and his humor wasn't really humor. It was just him being straightforward, sort of. Like even him saying like because Flash was busting his chops and he's like, "What's your powers?" And he's like, "I'm rich." And he was just being a sarcastic a-hole because that's how he is. But in the context of the movie, it works that way. But in the trailers, it plays off different. But yeah, I thought it's a really phenomenal movie. I think it's really good. I think it's definitely worth seeing in theaters. It's up there. I think it's up there even with Avengers, to be honest. And I think it's definitely up there. It's just those certain things that irk me as a hardcore comic book geek. And like I said, CGI, especially when they could have, I just go like, why did you CGI out his beard when you could have just played off his death, that he was just in a coma, and that's why he had the beard when he came out, and give him the black suit because he needs to absorb radiation to recover sooner, and so have him a little weaker so he's not as strong when he, but whatever. But yeah, it was still really solid, and I enjoyed it. It was impressive. So yeah, definitely worth seeing. I feel like that's really kind of it for now, for me at least. So I'll just go ahead and get into talking about these books. Starting with how, we have a grade scale here at Talk Nerdy to Me, TNTMTheShow, and it is buy, skim, pass with variations and the buy and the skim. And that is strong buy, weak buy, strong skim, weak skim, pass is pass. Then we have other terms like contender. So it's like, this is contender for runner-up and back and bag of the week. That's also our best book of the week. Another little term that we have. So, and that's it. Spoiler alert. Oh, yeah, spoiler alert. It's November 15th comics that I'm going to be reviewing today and giving away the digital comics. I think I'm just going to give away the codes for all of them. But if you can guess my ringtone here, if it works throughout the show, probably won't because, my phone is a piece of crap, but whatever. And so that being the case, like I said, here's the tone. Like I said, it's 1 minute. If it's just me, so it's going to be a 1 minute review. So, but if you know the ringtone, tell me, and I'll hook you up with a free digital comic of your choosing through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I'll try to, keep all those things open so that you can get that book ASAP. All right. It might be this exact same one I used last week, but extended. But I'm not sure. Which gives away a lot. Well, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, I don't care about, like, I'm not trying to keep these codes coveted. I really just keep them, like, I'll keep the runner up in the bebow, and that's just for the people that can answer the ringtone for the week or whatever. And I hope that people get them. That's why I give hints along the way. But I am going to start with Batman. It's Dark Knight's Batman Who Laughs, #1. Of course, it's a Dark Knight's metal tie-in. And James Tynion is the writer. Riley Rasmo is the artist. Ivan Placencia's colors. Tom Napolitano is letters. And so, yeah, this is about the Batman Who Laughs. I like to call him the bondage Batman, or what's the other one? The Judas Priest. He reminds me of Judas Priest, which makes it more metal. So, yeah, this is essentially just about like Batman and Joker, and Batman actually goes crazy essentially, and he doesn't go crazy right away, but he kills Joker, and in Joker's death, there's like some plume of toxic stuff from his body that comes out, and Batman inhales it, and it essentially turns him not into the Joker, but it's a combination of Joker and Batman. And Joker even says that, I'm trying to create something that is a mixture of the best of both of us, and so that's what it does. It turns Batman into like a genie. He's still Batman, but he's also the Joker now. So he's half and half pretty much, all into one person. He takes out the Bat family. It's really messed up and crazy. And he takes everyone out. Oh, all right. Well, the ringtone's not working. So big surprise there. This is a piece of crap. So, yeah. But yeah, this is a phenomenal book. It looks superb. It was really interesting. It's really difficult though because it was so hyped up that it was like, well, how can you know what I mean? Like I still felt like it was really solid and everything like that, and it's really interesting and it's really crazy, and I can't wait to see what comes next. But yeah, it's good stuff. It's a strong buy without a doubt. No, without a doubt. I would even say it's a contender. Now on to Spider-Man 2, number 4. And this should be the same creative team, which is Brian Michael Bendis as the writer, Sir Pacelli as the artist, Elisabetta D'Amico as inking assistant, Justin Ponsor as color artist. So yeah, this one, it's this other, it's the 616 Miles and Kingpin, and they're talking because, like, I guess Miles, his girlfriend, wife, whatever, she's dead, and he didn't kill her, I don't think, as far as I know. And they're like, Kingpin's like, I did all this research. There's a lot of this stuff going on where there's in a universe somewhere, you and this woman are still together and you're happily together. So I hope you find solace in that. And it's crazy because then right then they transition to Miles and the woman that he was with, but it's the young version of her, and so it's crazy. And then you have Miles has to leave. He sees Taskmaster. He gets with Peter Parker and stuff, and then they're like, keep an eye on him, but then somebody blows up the building and they make an escape. And yeah, so this essentially finally catches up with, I want to say, the first issue. So it's been like a long time coming leading up to that. So I want to say it's a really solid issue. It's really good, really great stuff, and I really enjoy it and I appreciate it. But it just makes me feel like this series would be way better in trade, like phenomenally better in trade. So I would say don't even get it in issues, get it in trade. I feel like I wish I would have gotten it in trade because I know this would be way better in trade. It would just flow better. I know that the way that this is designed, I know it would be better in trade. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So looks superb. It's really, like I said, it's an amazing book. It's an amazing issue. Strong buy and absolutely a contender as well. But I'm going to give the digital code away. U for Uganda, T for Tech, E for Elope, I for Indigo, D for Dave 5, G for George, E for Echo, M for Mankey, O for Oscar, at least I think it's an O, it might be a 0, 3, and then X for X-Men. On to Generation Gone, number 5. This is $3.99. We have Lescott, Andre Lima, Arrojo, Chris O'Halloran, Clayton Coles, Tom Muller, Lizzie Kay. And yeah, so this picks up a little bit after, which is we have Nick, and he is wrecking this nuclear reactor up. And then I think it's Lizzie. She wakes up, and then the other guy, he's driving over to attack him, and he discovers his power, which is like he knows the weakness to everything, or like he can just like plan things out and see what's going to work. And so Lizzie, she's like, you got to stop. And he's like, no, F you. He's just lost his mind. And she attacks him. and then I think his name's Robert, I want to say, and he hits him with he hits Nick with a car, and you think he's dead, but he's not because he's practically invulnerable. But he is messed up, and he attacks his girlfriend and stuff, but she flies up in the air, she flies into space and just launches him into, it's freaking crazy and awesome. And then they kind of like partner up with the military to get this stuff fixed and can figure it out and stuff so that she can heal her mom who has cancer. So this turned out to be really good. Like the last one, this one makes me a little uncomfortable because, like I said, just violence against women just makes me really uncomfortable. And so, but it was one of those things where they made it work because I mean she handled him, and so that's what was great. And so I'm interested to see what's to come, especially now that character's out because I hated him for doing that. And so so now I'm definitely down for more. And there is nudity in this though. It's done in the right context though. It's not just nudity for nudity's sake. So yeah, it's definitely, this one definitely ends up being a strong buy and a contender as well. I have the Defenders number 7, which should be a legacy and should be renumbered because technically Defenders is a title that has existed many times. So, but for whatever reason, it's not. And we have writers Brian Michael Bendis, artist David Marquez, color artist Justin Ponsor with Paul Mounts. And Corey Petit is the letter. This one is freaking great just because you have this intro with Deadpool, and then there's a second intro page with Deadpool, and it's hilarious and it's great. And I usually don't like this kind of stuff, but it was just written so well that it was hilarious and I enjoyed it. So it didn't feel like a waste to me. And actually no, it ends up being 3 intro pages. So yeah, crazy. But yeah, anyways, we have Elektra, and Danny is Danny Rand, the Immortal Iron Fist. He is having a chat with Elektra, which turns out to be a freaking hardcore, awesome fight that is just, oh my god, so wicked. I love the art in this. It's just mind-blowingly great. And then, of course, Daredevil shows up. And Daredevil is the only one in this team that, like, they don't know his identity, and he's trying to keep secrets still. And then there's also Diamondback, and he's there, and he deals with Hammerhead, and I'm wondering how he deals with Hammerhead. I'm interested to find out the why later. But we also have Daredevil and Elektra, and they have a chat, and that turns out to be really great. And then, surprisingly, the guy at the beginning does show up at the end because you're like, he's not in this at all the rest of the time to thwart somebody else that seems to be after them. So, yeah. Love it. It's freaking awesome. It looks gorgeous. Gorgeous, I don't know, is a weird term just because it's like there's so much violence and stuff. But it's just done so magnificently. And yeah, so it's a killer. It's a killer issue, like through and through. I will say it's a little weird though because it's called Defenders, and you see a lot of Defenders not fighting as a team. You see them fighting on their own and doing different things instead of that. So yeah. So, but yeah. So I give this one a strong buy. I will also give it a contender, and I'm going to give it away because why not? F for Familia, Z for Zorro, M for Marcos, V for Villanueva, A for Alamos 1, E for Iluterio, X for Javier, that's Xavier, U for Uganda. I don't know. That's definitely not Spanish, but I don't care. W for Huerita, 8, and A for Alamos. Oh, man. JD's missing out. It is Star Wars Darth Vader number 8. He probably read it or is going to read it this week anyway, so he's not really missing out. It is written by Charles Soule, pencils Giuseppe Camuncoli, inks Danielle Orlandini, colors David Curiel. So Vader like chokes everybody, and the Emperor does have a talk with him, and he's like, you're gonna kill everybody because I know everybody screws up and they kind of deserve it, and I know you have this hate and everything like that, and that's fine, but you need to learn how to control it, because if you don't control it, it's controlling you. So, and then we see, I want to say it's Jocasta Nu, and she's gone to these secret hidden archives to get this info, which is where all the Force users are, so she can start her own school. And then you see Vader meditating and stuff, which was really awesome. And then he gets this information that someone has, broken in over there, and so he goes over there to deal with it himself. And it's really freaking awesome, because I like the military is like, oh, who are you? I'm just calling you because they made me call you. This is just a courtesy. And he's like, your existence is a courtesy, and it's just so hardcore, and just like, yeah. So, but yeah, we have a fight, and we will see how it goes in the next issue. It looks freaking awesome. So I can't wait. It's this. This is just so well done. This is so good. This is what I've been wanting from a Darth Vader series, is the what happens after he gets the suit, and this is it. So yeah, strong by contender. Here's digital code. 4, V for Vader, R for Richter, V for Vader, 3, R for Mongol, 4, B for Bravo, 4, B for Bravo, W for Wilson, L for Lewis. Now I have Super Sons number 10 with who? Oh yeah, it is Peter J. Tomasi on story and words, Jose Luis as the artist, Scott Hanna as the inker, Hi-Fi is the colorist. And so they're kind of testing Jonathan's powers. Jonathan Kent, the son of Superman. He's like seeing now his powers are more coming into play and stuff. And man, I just love these people, like how they interact and stuff. Just Superman, Batman, and Robin, but they're all just in their civvies and stuff. And man, it's just freaking great. And I love too, like they connect, and he's like, oh yeah, he's all bugged with him because he can fly, but Damien can't and stuff. And he's like, man, this is why it's so great. And he's like, oh, I used to be able to fly, and he reminds him and stuff. And then it looks like a flashback to when Damien is Batman. But real quick, it says intermission type thing. And then, yeah, so they all team up, all 4 of them, and they're giving them a headquarters pretty much to just, pay attention to them, and then they go do a mission. So, yeah. And, but we'll see that mission next issue. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's really great. I like it a lot. It looks fantastic. It fits really well. So, yeah, it's a strong buy, and it's a contender. And, yeah, so I'll give this code away. Why not? DC for Detective Comics 717, 9, Z for Zelda, 0, X for X-Ray, D for Donatello, B for Bravo, V for Vegeta, 0. Now I got some Weapon X number 11. This is the Hunt for Weapon X conclusion. Writers are Greg Pak and Fred Van Lente. Artist Mark Borstel and Ibram Robertson. Colorist Frank Di Armata. And so, yeah, we have Laura Kinney Wolverine, the new Wolverine, and she's getting messed up by Weapon H, which is Hulkverine, aka Clay. And yeah, and they're trying to break his thing, but then they figure out, like, oh yeah, she put this bug in his ear, the lady that's his controller or whatever. And so they deal with her. Then all the while you have Sabretooth, and he's acting like a freaking psychopath because he's like, we're going to drop a nuke on him. That's the only way that's going to kill him. So he steals this reactor or whatever from the ship that the other team's flying on, and along with Stryker, so he can blow them all to smithereens together. And he's just going based off that, and they don't realize that if they can stop him, with the mind control, then there's a good chance that they can get him to stop. And so, yeah, they're able to do what they want to do. Wolverine does go and find this guy and has a chat with him and stuff. And, we have I would feel like we got to play the Hulk walking away music mixed with a little Wolverine music, I guess. But yeah, so it's all's well that ends well. We still have this lady though; she's alive, and so is Stryker, still preaching his hatred and stuff. So yeah, I guess it doesn't all end well, but it's I like it because then it leaves it for more or to wrap up late at a later time. So I enjoyed it a lot. It just wrapped up really well. It was a little easy, but it made sense and it worked. And I'm willing to see where it goes. And I hope it does become more later and down the road. So we'll see. This is also, I would say, a strong buy and a contender. And I'll go ahead and give the digital code away for this one. S for Super, S for Saiyan 6, H for Hotel 667, R for Richter, J for Jones, Z for Zarbon, W for Wesker, M for Mankey. I have X-Men Bleu, which is number 15. It's Mojo Worldwide, part 6. Writers Cullen Bunn, artist Jorge Molina, color artist Matt Mia. And so things are getting worse on Earth, and they're also taking it pretty hardcore for other stuff going on. With all the X-Men, you have all these different X-Men teams, and they're dealing with Mojo's forces, and there's just a lot of them. And yeah, it's a hardcore fight. It's getting crazy, and they're trying to get Longshot to, find the control room so they can shut this thing down. And then they do get the assistance from Danger, Magneto, and Polaris, which is freaking epic. And of course, those two being, the metal, being able to control metal, they are able to help out in a huge way, multiple ways. And they're and they talk to them about that situation too, about how he's dealing with. But Piotr, he explains he got you out of that bullet, and I thought you were stuck in there forever. So, I gotta remember that even with all the bad. So, yeah, but this is not the end of it. Far from it, I think. I don't know if it's gonna continue straight on from this, or if it's gonna be the type of thing that it's gonna be a while. That's gonna be building in the rafters in the background, and then they're eventually going to bring it to the forefront, or if it's just going to continue, because Mojo is somewhere else now. Even though they deal with him, they don't capture him. So we will see how things go from here on out. I can't wait to see what comes next. This was a great way to wrap it up. I do think he would be phenomenal in trade. I give it a strong buy and a contender. And I'm saving this code for a special someone. I have a Champions number 14. It's Worlds Collide Part 4. We have the same creative team, I believe, which is Mark Waid, Humberto Ramos, Victor Olazaba, and Edgar Delgado. So yeah, we have Vision, and she is changed right now. High Evolutionist says for the better, but we are not quite sure yet. At least it doesn't seem like it. They formulate a plan so that they can phase over to the Counter Earth and deal with the High Evolutionary. And so that's what they do. They team up to do that. And they get to Falcon right on time, because then if he was Falcon human hybrid, then he would just be his old partner Falcon. So which doesn't have a title, Falcon, but he does. It's counterproductive, I think. But anyways, yeah. So this does wrap up really well, or is it wrapped up? It doesn't entirely seem like it is entirely wrapped up, and we'll see what goes forth with Vision. But I think, oh yeah, it does continue. in the next issue, which is going to be Avengers 674 on sale 12/6. So in 2 weeks, I believe. So yeah, this is this is freaking awesome. Goes really well. Really like it. Art's really solid. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one. Man, I'm just being all kinds of nice today, but I'm gonna give it a strong buy and contender too. Here's digital code. And for Novella, Z for Zorro, J for Josefina, G for Guillermo, V for Villanueva, 3, F for Familia, 3, Q for Quintana, W for Huerita, L for Lupita, 5. I have Descender number 26. It's Rise of the Robots. It's also $3.99. It's Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, I believe. And so yeah, we have Tim 22 and Tim 21, and it's it's the art is a little rough here, and I know what he's trying to do, so it works. It's really crazy. Just because like he's like stretching out his face, and so he looks pretty messed up. It's crazy. These two robots fighting and stuff, and then they're trying to fix Dr. Quan and stuff, and it's just this whole thing is coming to this giant culmination that's been building for a long time. That really just makes me feel like, damn it, I really missed the opportunity to get this in trade, because it would play out so much better in trade. And it's once again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm switching to trade. I am done with this book and issues, even though the last arc I feel like could have been really, I mean, I know it was a better format for issues, but this is definitely better format for in trade, because it's building up to this moment where all these forces, the robot forces, these alien forces, Nish, the United Galactic Alliance or whatever, or councils coming together, all these different people, all these different storylines coming together at once, and then also these robots and creators and stuff that they've discovered as well. Just all these people coming together in different factions and everything. It's just leading up to something freaking superb. So it's a strong buy, and it's a contender. But like I said, I know it would be way better in trade. It's time for a digital commercial break. What? So I want to talk about one of our sponsors, which is Gamers Anonymous. It is primarily a retro gaming store, but they do have other things. They do carry new stuff. Like I know they don't carry a lot of new stuff, but they do. Like they'll get like 10 copies or 15 copies of like Super Mario Odyssey. I know they had copies of Super Mario Odyssey. So there was that. But they do they do a lot of stuff for the community and stuff. They do Friday night movies and stuff. They always have like these movies. They're just nerdy and great, and there's usually a reason they're coming out or not. Sometimes I feel like there's always like a theme, like, oh hey, there's Planet of the Apes. They played Planet of the Apes, and then Planet of the Apes came out next week or the same week or something like that. Stuff like that, or just those types of things. But yeah, a lot of retro gaming. They have all kinds of tournaments. They have I want to say Smash tournaments, and I think they have Pokken, maybe they might have Pokken tournaments, but I know they added Splatoon. They were doing Splatoon for a while. I don't know if they still are doing Splatoon, but yeah, Super Mario is now the hit. They're located at 1512 C Wyoming Boulevard, Northeast, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87112. The phone number is 505-332-0717. And their website is garetro.com. Follow them on Facebook, and also join the community group. John, who runs the store, he's always asking, interactive questions and stuff like, what's your favorite this, or just not even favorite, but just like all kinds of questions. He's a really good dude and stuff. So you should definitely check it out. All right. time to get back to books, and I'm going to start with Hombre de Agua. That is Aquaman number 30. And it is Dan Abnett as the writer, Stefan Sejic as the artist. And I just love the way it's written and the way the narrative is done. Like, so we have this group, and there's somebody in there talking about this group, and they're like, oh yeah, they don't really have a plan, but they're just like, they're rising up against, the king and stuff. And then right when they do it, it's like Aquaman. He's like, that's why I have to show up and help him. And it's Aquaman. And they have to take out this freaking giant monster, like crocodile looking thing that looks terrifying. They also have a thing going on with Tempest, which used to be Aqualad, I think. And he's explaining like his whole thing, as well as like Mira's situation, which is she has this amulet and it's broken, so she might lose the ability to breathe underwater, which doesn't really make sense to me why she would lose the ability to breathe underwater, because she's not Atlantean, she's Zebellian, but she is like a branch that's a branch off from Atlanteans. But yeah, so, and you just see them come together and stuff, and it's really hardcore and it's really crazy. And yeah, these bad people now have Mira, who cannot breathe underwater, and now there's this Atlantis uprising. So yeah, it is absolutely the narrative and the art. It like everything about it just freaking killed it and knocked it out of the park. Yeah, so I'm gonna hold on to this digital code because I think it could be runner up or BVOW, and yeah, and if I don't choose it as one of those, I will give it away. Now it is on to Nightwing number 33, and it is Tim Seeley as a writer, Javier Fernandez is the artist, Chris Sotomayor as colors, Carlos and Mangual as letters. And so it looks like Nightwing may have gotten found out, because he's like, how, what's his name? Buster is like, Hulkbuster, Blockbuster. Yeah, Blockbuster's like, oh, hey, yeah, like, how did you get here so quick and stuff? And he's like, I actually care about the city and stuff. And so they have to fight these people off that are like all hulked out and are, blockbustered up, and so they're like, okay, we need to lock this place down so these people don't get out and cause a rampage in the city. And so pretty much this guy's like, they're like, okay, why don't you go do with this, while I go deal with freaking King Shark as all Hulk bustered out and stuff. And then Raptor and Pigeon, they have this thing going on, and they have this little lovers thing going on, and they're trying to keep each other true to the message and everything like that. It's crazy. It's really intense. I love the way the narration is done in this too, because it has like Dick, and he's talking about like being a trapeze artist and stuff, and all the while like how he's messing up and things while like, and it's through this fight. And they build a lot of suspense in this, and it's done really, really well. And it's also really crazy the way that it ends. So I can't wait to see how it goes and where it goes in the next issue, because I don't know if it's going to be a finale, but it's leading up to some crazy business. So yeah, I love this book. I'm biased because I love Dick, and I don't even care about saying that. So I'm going to give it a strong buy and a contender for sure. Green Lanterns number 35 is next, with Tim Seeley as the writer. I want to say Carlo Barberi is the pencils. Inks is Matt Santorelli. Colorist is Ulysses Adiola, and letterer Dave Sharp. And so we have Bullfunga, the Unrelenting. He shows up and he's trashing stuff, and he's like, I challenge the Green Lantern and stuff, and Jessica's beating up on him, and what's his name is called away. Simon, he's called away. He was having this superhero hookup thing with this chick. He's just like, I want to crush your pad. Yeah. And then you see what's going on with the other planet, Angara, And those people, since they have the Molites and somebody killed one of their people, the Molites killed them. It looks that way. And so, yeah, like she has this construct of a rifle and she's shooting at this guy. She's like, he's faking it. He's not actually, he doesn't actually want to fight. There's something else going on. He's holding back. And, I think and so they get the full story on why. And he explained his family history and stuff and what's going on with him. And then some ladies after him to kill him. So it's really interesting. It's really cool, and I want to see what comes next. So I give this one a strong buy. It looks great. It's really interesting. I like it how it has touch of personal stuff, but also the superheroics is the main focus because they're Green Lanterns. Come on. And then we have Batman number 35. It's $2.99. It is Tom King as the writer, Joel Jones as Pencils Inks cover, then Jordi Belair as color for cover and interior. And so we have Talia al Ghul facing Catwoman, and it's really crazy. It's funny because Talia's like, yeah, when I was 3, my dad gave me a sword and made me fight to my life, and every time I would die, he would just throw me in the pits and bring me back and stuff. And she's like, oh well, I didn't have parents. I had to do everything myself. I came from nothing, and I've earned all this. And she's like, oh, you love him? You think you can get his love? You think you're deserving of his love? And she's like, you know what? He loves the mission. He loves the people. He loves the city. That's what he loves. He's like, we're just crazy people that want to be together. That's all it is. And she's like, okay, all right, I can do. But yeah, she gets the slip on her and messes her up, gets her licks in. I also love the conversation that Dick and Damian have about how Batman did this because he doesn't feel he's allowed to be happy, but he's doing this and he kept it secret because he wants to do something that's making him happy. And then when they come out, he's like, hey, Bruce, you happy? And he's like, I'm getting there. It's really good. I like it. It was really good. It was really good. So I give it a strong buy. I give it a contender. It's way up there. Yeah. So now I have Superman number 35. This week, this whole month is cool because they're doing these Justice League covers from the movie, and you see some artists really do a really good job. But yeah, we have Patrick Gleason and Peter J. Tomasi as the writers, Travis Moore, Stefan Segovia, and Art Thibbert as artists, Danae Ribeiro as colorist, Rob Lay as the letterer. And yeah, Superman is pissed off at Lex. He's like, oh, you make them believe me I'm their leader and stuff. And they throw this hat, or this helmet onto Superman. And he's like, I'll help you steer while I disable this thing. And so that's what he does. And then they meet up with the Furies as well, which his wife is one of the Furies. So it's like, okay. And then there's also stuff with Superboy going on, and they're about to eat these dogs, these evil people. And so he stops them, and then he frees them. And then so now he has the war dogs on his side. It's neat. So they kind of all culminate at the same time. You do have Calabac, and he looks just so freaking wicked, and he's just wrecking Lex and Superman, of course, Lex. That's the thing that I noticed too, is that Lex gets messed up bad in this book. He's just not that tough. I feel like he's kind of underplayed, sort of. I know he shouldn't be as strong as Superman or anything, but dang, he gets messed up a lot. Yeah. So, but yeah, I can't wait to see the next one because, like I said, that's when all three forces are coming together. His wife as a Fury, him, Lex, and his son with the War Dogs. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. Strong buy contender is a lot of fun, really enjoyable, and despite the different artists, it actually went together pretty well. It's time for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 76. It's $3.99. Invasion of the Triceratons Part 1. Story, Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, and Tom Waltz. Script, Tom Waltz. Art, Damian Cusiero. Colors, Rhonda Pattison. letters, Sean Lee. So they're like, yeah, man, I can't wait to relax and stuff. And then they're like, oh, terrorists just attacked in New York. And then it wasn't like really meant to be a terrorist attack. And then the Triceratons, they show up on these buildings and they're like, all right, we got the high ground, let's try to be friendly and stuff and see if they accept us, especially if the turtles are as accepting of us. Hopefully the other people will be. So they land, the humans freak out, they run. Then these Earth Protection Force shows up and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to be friends. Lies. And then attacks them. And they're like, oh, it's fine. We got the high ground. And they're like, nope, we got the high ground. They got helicopters and stuff. They put like an ambush on them. So now the turtles, have this situation, but somebody else comes into the fray and claims the city as their own, which is dark and crazy and messed up. I'm like, what? I did not expect this at all. I was like, what? No way. Oh my God. Like, this is hands down one of the greatest series there is in comics. Every year people ask me, like, oh, what series would you suggest? This is always one of them. That never changes, ever. But I would probably say that it might be better in trade, but I kind of want to get it in trade, to read it in trade, but also get the issues just because I love them in issues. I think it works in issues, but I think it might be better in trade. But yeah, strong by contender. Duh. Time to quest for infinity with Guardians of the Galaxy 147. It is writer Jerry Dugan, artist Marcus Toe, color artist Ian Herring, lettering Corey Petit. And so this one picked up where it left off, which I was like, where did it leave off? Even though it's only been like maybe a week or 2 weeks. But yeah, they were about to break in. Like there's these Ultron zombie people and they're trying to break in. And Hank Pym goes big to block the door, which was pretty awesome. It's weird though, because he's like, yeah, it makes me pass out or whatever. And I'm like, really? What? Giant Man's been doing this for forever. Like, how is that even... But whatever. They have to put in the suspense. And, oh, man, freaking Gamora looks amazing in this book. And just in a Nova Corps suit. And I love Rocket in this, how he's just like this boss. He's so bossy, And Dick Ryder and Quill, they team up to go on a mission together for this place in the middle of nowhere. And there's these other Nova there, but they're like, hey, you could be those corrupt Nova and stuff. But one of the ladies fighting is pregnant, and they're like, I'm not fighting a pregnant lady. And so yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then she reveals something really crazy to them, and it's a huge deal. I'll just say that. So yeah, strong buy. Come on, contender, without a doubt. Faux show. Yeah. So yeah, it's freaking amazing. Here's the digital code. F for Familia, Z for Zorro, M for Marcos, I for Ignacio, R for Rigoberto, 6, Z for Zorro, 9, H for Hector, V for Villanueva, X for X-Ray, E for Eleuterio. Oh, goodness. I have another book to cover, which is Punisher number 218. Writer Matthew Rosenberg, artist Guyo Villanova, colorist, or that was the artist. This is the colorist Lee Lowrich, letter Corey Petit. And so we have these guys, and they get attacked by, we have some thugs doing some arms deals. Punisher shows up, takes them out, deals with them and stuff. It's pretty hardcore and awesome. And then Nick Fury meets with him, Nick Jr., And so he's like, hey, I got a mission for you. And he's like, I'm not your pawn. He explains all this situation. He's like, yeah, but you can get into control of the War Machine armor. And the War Machine armor looks, the way they draw it, it looks awful. Like it looks like, I don't know, it looks like a turtle. Looks like a turtle armor. I don't know. It just like, I've seen the front cover art and it looks so awesome that I was like, I gotta get this because that looks amazing. But then like the interiors aren't bad and they're gritty and I like that because it fits Iron Man so well. But you're putting in an element that doesn't fit into his world, which is the War Machine armor, and so you have to kind of pretty it up and gussy it up, and instead it's hideous. It's hideous. Yeah. So it just really turned me off and makes me want to not get the next issue, but I'm gonna give it a 2-issue try at the least. So we'll see where this goes. Hopefully the art improves on it too, because I just like if I'm gonna be looking at War Machine all the time and this is what their War Machine looks like, I don't like it. So, but the rest of it looks pretty solid. So it works. It's not exactly to my liking, but yeah. So I give it I'm gonna give it a week. I'm gonna give it a week. Bye. Here's digital code. Tell me what you think. F for Frank, C for Charles, M for Money, V for Villain, L for Logan, 0, 5, Z for Zany, E for Elvin, C for Candid, D for Diego, T for Tank Diego. Now on to Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man 297. Chip Zdarsky is a writer, artist Adam Kubert with Juan Frigeri, color artist Jason Keith, letter Travis Lanham. I feel like the art's a little bit different in this one. We do have Peter Parker is pretty much walking into a trap of these, like, they're ex-SHIELD and they worked on their own, so they've pretty much gone evil and dark and stuff. And so they attack him, but he's like, oh, I can't reveal that I'm Spider-Man. I only have 2 cartridges left. I don't know what to do. So he goes back and forth between like Spider-Man and Peter Parker, like getting dressed up as Spider-Man and attacking them, and then like getting changed and attacking them as Peter Parker and stuff. And you see how that goes. Okay, so he doesn't trade off. He's Peter Parker most of the time. But they think Spider-Man's there because he does use the web cartridges. And he does go in disguise too in one of their uniforms. And then, yeah, like I said, and then at the end he busts out. And you see someone come to his aid that I don't at all remember. But he turns himself in so somebody else doesn't get taken away, essentially, because that's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of guy he is. All right. So yeah, this one was really crazy, really interesting. To be honest, I don't even think I finished reading this issue. So, but it looks great, and I don't feel like it's definitely in the buy category, but I can't give it a specific because, like I said, I don't even know if I finished reading this. Yeah, I feel like I did, but I must have been out of it. I don't know. But yeah, so there you go. Oh, someone want the code for this? Here. M for Milton, 88, C for Charlie, Y for Yank, O for Oscar, A for Alvin, C for Charlie, V for Vanquish, 9, W for Wilson, V for Villain. Last book, The Incredible Hulk 710, Return to Planet Hulk. Writer is Greg Pak, penciler Greg Land, inker Jay Leaston, colorist Frank Diarmarta, letter Corey Petit. And so this one, like, the Hulk is out of control. He is attacking in this like war zone that they have on planet Sakaar, this other champions thing that they have going on, and he is just wrecking them. And then what's his name tells him, get back in the trunk. Amadeus is like, that's enough. I'm in control now. Well, the fight's over, so it's fine. And, and then they're like, all right, well, now you do all this stuff for us. And they're like, nope, it just started. This was just the first, round. We still have more rounds. And so they go into that. And then there's this lady that's like a priest and priestess. She's talking to them. And they're even explaining like, yeah, all these, they just go to the different clans. And then when they defeat them, they take over whoever they want to keep alive. They keep them around and stuff. So yeah. And then we see Hulk, and he's going up against the next round and stuff. It's really crazy because they do use hostages, but as this giant machine, and I think he's going to have to let Hulk out of the cage again to take over. Yeah, it's freaking just pure epicness, and it's amazing. I love it. It's a really, really solid issue. It's crazy because, well, no, at the beginning there was some fighting, but really wasn't all that much. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a strong buying contender, and I'm going to hold on to the digital code because I'm not sure yet. Okay. So it is time for the back and bag to announce the runner-up and back and bag of the week. I, have X-Men Blue, Hombre de Agua, Hulk, Peter Parker. Like I said, I don't even know if I completely finished that one. That one was really crazy. And yeah, there's so many good things this week. It's just ridiculous how much great stuff there is. I think I'm going to have to go with Batman as my runner-up. Just that fight with Talia and Catwoman was so good, but the best, my favorite kind of fights are the fights with dialogue. And that's what I missed about the Star Wars fights too. I know this isn't Star Wars, but still, like, I just feel like everything's better when you do add dialogue to a fight. Like when you can get inside your enemy's head in one way or another, or get your point across to them, and like break them down verbally up here, then you can beat them physically. You can beat them in here too, once you get in here. So it's so great when they do that. Not to mention, like, so that's what she does, is she gets inside her head and she lowers her defenses and she messes her up, surprisingly so. And they both take licks, and it just ends so well. And like I said, everything I feel like I pretty much covered, besides that stuff. But I'm going to have to go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as my back and bag for the week, purely because, spoiler alert, here it comes. We have, at the end, Splinter with the Foot Clan shows up and says, this city belongs to the Foot Clan, and takes down the Triceratons and deals with this galactic police. Well, I don't know if they deal with the galactic police force, but with the Triceratons. That is nuts. And I did not see it coming from a mile away, like, at all. Like, I still can't believe it. Like, what if the Turtles are going to think? They're like, hey, these were our allies in Dimension X. Like, you can't attack them like this, And it's like, well, they attacked the humans of Earth, and stuff. I don't know what's going to go down. It's crazy because Splinter seems like he's really gone down a dark path. It's nuts. So I can't wait to see the next issue, but that was so powerful. And then just the way the whole thing plays out, like the way the Triceratons act, and even like the Earth Protection Force and stuff like that, like all of that, just the way that everything's done and looks, just superb. So that being said, I will give away the digital comics for Incredible Hulk and Aquaman. So here is Incredible Hulk. I for Ignacio, W for Juanita, O for Ocotillo, Y for Yucca, H for Hector, 4, G for Guillermo, 975, 7, V for Villanueva. Then Hombre de Agua, I have DC for Detective Comics, 917, V for villain, P for pain, 7467, N for negative, and Z for 0. And that's it for this week. I want to know what your BBOW is for the week. Also, what you thought of these books for the digital codes if you got them and stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed these digital comics. And everything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope to get JD back eventually, hopefully next week. But yeah, and then I don't know what we're gonna do for Christmas in December and all that stuff going on. I would like to go to Glendale, Arizona in January. I think January 14th. I think it's a Sunday, Monday, or no, it's a Saturday, Sunday, Monday con. But Chris Evans is there, Tom Holland is there, and Stan Lee. And so even if that's all they have, like that's top notch. So I'm going to see if we can get passes to that and maybe go there. It's not too far from here, I think. I don't know. I'd have to check. But it can't be more than 8 hours, right? I don't know. But yeah, so that would be really cool to go to and check out, especially if we could score an interview with those guys. But I'm not making any promises. We still have a lot of content that I have to edit for video. I'm probably going to toss this over to Slay J so he can edit it so I can focus on video, because there's a lot of Japanese snacks videos I got to do, and there's Duke City Comic Con footage I got to do, which I have not had for a long time, which is why I haven't edited it. And then there's Santa Fe Comic Con. So I'm trying to do things in accordance of like when we recorded it. So there's a lot of old stuff I'm trying to get put out and everything like that. That's why it's taking forever. And then we put new stuff out slowly. So yeah, that's what's going on with like the YouTube stuff pretty much, as well as just, I'll try to do more 3 a.m.s with Tone Bone. I don't know if I will be able to or not though. We'll see. And, I don't, like I said, once this week, I don't know if we're going to be doing any Nerdy After Dark stuff, or I'm going to be able to do anything with Slay J or anybody else, because it is Thanksgiving week. And so I think people are going to be busy Wednesday, maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see. I know I'm going to be busy with Thanksgiving Wednesday, so I probably won't be able to do anything. So yeah, but I hope you all have a lovely Thanksgiving, and that you're actually thankful for stuff like these comics, okay? And just, everything in life in general, just being able to have food, being able to, buy stuff like this, or just period, just anything, be able to live in a country where we have drinkable water, we can take showers and stuff like that. We're not fighting for our lives every single day, so be thankful for that stuff. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Feel free to hit us up in anything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. What else? Is there anything else? Our emails, Gmail, TNTMTheShow, our website. It's all TNTMTheShow. You have any suggestions at all, please send them our way. Negative, positive, whatever, any type of anything. You don't want to see any nerdy fitness. You want more of this, you want more of that. You don't want any of this, you don't want any of that. Whatever. Send it our way. Slowly making progress on the comic book room. I want to cover the whole wall with, all the walls with comics, with, in back and bagged. I'll get all our back and bag issues and put them all over the walls. That would be freaking sick. So you can see all our back and bagged, our BBOW issues up on the walls and stuff. I don't usually give those ones away, but I'll give away all the rest of our comics at cons. I always give away our comics. So, if you ever want us to come to a con near you, we'd love to do trivia with you guys, comic book trivia, or just any kind of trivia, Star Wars, whatever, just do something different, go somewhere new, meet people, and give them comics and Japanese snacks. That's why I need to work on some Japanese snacks videos too, getting those edited. So for sure. So yeah, that's it for me. Talk nerdy to me, I'll talk nerdy to you, and keep your eyes hungry for comics.